You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Jaws drop as Mitch McConnell's neighbors spill new details on hospitalized GOP leader, based on an article by Alexander Willis. McConnell's silence is the story. A senator is not a private patient. The reported facts are narrow and revealing. Mitch McConnell was hospitalized on June 14. His office disclosed little, and later reports said he had been found unconscious at home and given CPR. Neighbors described a visibly alarming condition. Kentucky Gov. Andy Beshear then had to publicly ask for a health update. That sequence is the real scandal, not the gossip, not the appetite for spectacle. The scandal is that a man holding one of the most powerful seats in American government can disappear into a haze of euphemism, while the public is told to wait politely. Power sat behind the curtain. The institutional power here is not with the neighbors, and not with the reporters chasing clues after the fact. It sits with McConnell's office, his staff, and the political machine around him that decided how much to disclose and when. That choice is not neutral. It shapes what voters, colleagues, and state officials are allowed to know about a sitting senator's ability to serve. When a senator's condition is serious enough to prompt rumors of CPR and unconsciousness, withholding basic clarity is not a harmless privacy preference. It is an exercise of power over information that belongs, at minimum, to the public that elected him and the institutions that have to govern alongside him. Privacy is the convenient shield. The usual reflex in stories like this is to frame the issue as concern, sympathy, or intrusive curiosity. That framing is too soft. It blurs a direct political question: who is making decisions in a vacuum where voters cannot judge capacity? Beshear's request for an update is notable precisely because it should not have been necessary. A sitting governor should not have to publicly ask whether a United States senator can function. Yet that is what happens when political institutions normalize opacity for powerful figures and then call the result dignity. Dignity is not the same thing as concealment. When the office declines to provide meaningful information, it does not protect the public interest. It protects the incumbent. The misdirection is the point. The article's most useful details come from the outside: neighbors, staffers, and officials forced into awkward proximity with a story the senator's own office would not fully explain. That tells you where the real blockage is. The public is not being denied information by accident. It is being managed. And the language around the situation exposes the asymmetry. Ordinary people are asked to absorb silence, speculate carefully, and accept that the machinery of power will sort itself out in private. But the obligations here run the other direction. A senator represents roughly 4.5 million people, and those people are supposed to be represented by an actual functioning adult, not a communications shell. This is how elite institutions launder accountability, turn a public matter into a private one, then treat demands for basic facts as rude. What this story really shows: McConnell's health is not just a medical issue. It is a governance issue, a continuity issue, and a legitimacy issue. When a powerful figure's condition becomes difficult to verify, the problem is not curiosity. The problem is that the institution has made itself dependent on one person, while refusing to create transparency around his capacity. That is a broader political pattern. American power is full of figures who remain in place long after their ability to perform the job has become uncertain, while aides, allies, and party structures protect the arrangement as long as possible. The system rewards concealment because concealment preserves control. The lesson is not to gossip harder. It is to understand that political accountability cannot depend on the goodwill of the people most invested in hiding decline. When institutions decide that the public only gets fragments, they are not being careful. They are telling you whose interests come first. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Lesak, thanks for listening.